Is Fantomex the champion for the future? Where's that roadmap at? And is a tech champion coming next month? Yes, hello everybody and welcome back to the Marvel Contest of Champions news for Wednesday. It's halfway through the week, it is technically early June, and yes, we haven't had that updated roadmap yet. Early June might have to be stretched out a little bit. But obviously that's one of many stories that we're going to be covering in today's Marvel Contest of Champions news. And before we get into that news, a massive thank you to my current YouTube members, as well as those lovely Patreons, and finally those Twitch subs. And if you do have an Amazon Prime account and we're going to give a free Twitch sub, you can do by going to the link in the description and as well following the on-screen instructions. But I haven't forgotten you, loyal viewer. Thank you very much for hitting the like button, subscribing with post notifications on all, and supporting the channel with the comment section as well by getting involved. That's really kind of you to come back each and every day and support my content. I appreciate you. Thank you. And let's get into this news, shall we? Our first story up starts with an Act 6.4 problem. 6.4. It's exactly like Island MODOK thing at the moment where, you know, it's not just one problem, it's two problems and three problems as well to deal with. So it's very champion specific. Although it looks like when you're bringing in favourite counters like a Mega Red against something like Nano Plague, it can cause a problem. Many players are coming to say that this is actually a problem elsewhere, or similar interactions being somewhat of an issue. The way that maybe abilities or champion specific natures, or being robots or poison immune, bleed immune, those kind of things can interact, and as well it seems that obviously they're missed out when it comes to these interactions, which Mirage Turtle and as well Rocky Panthers says as well. But at least yesterday there was acknowledgement from Kabam. It says, hey everyone, we've passed this extra info into the rest of the team for them to take a look at, and hopefully we get an answer, and hopefully we get some consistency around this, because it just gets really scuffy. Next up, and Kabam needs you, person of the community. Go to the forums and this link in the description, because Kabam are looking to find out what was good, what went well, and what was right about the Grandmaster fight. Largely, I think, to take an idea of like, well, look, this resonated well with the community. This is how we should benchmark and do other content. I mean, you know, like the champion boss fight. Maybe go back and do a lot of Act 6 that represents this. Maybe look at future content like Act 7 and how things should really be with those kind of interactions. And make the game fun again. We've got to make the game fun again. That's what we've got to do. There's several criteria in which Kabam would like to get the feedback. First of all, what aspect of the fight did you enjoy the most? What aspect of the fight was most frustrating? What would you change in the fight? What kind of thing do you want to see more in the future boss fights? After finally defeating the Grandmaster, how do you feel? How did each path and their associated link nodes change your experience? My personal experience of this fight was, it was enjoyable. It was an enjoyable fight. However, though, there was things that I didn't like. I didn't like inverted controls, and I didn't like the unblockable off that first beam of the SP1. If it feels like it's going to function like the SP1 of a Iron Man, then yeah, okay, then it's more of a kind of like it's an easier process to evade out of it. But if you're kind of like nervous, you're building up into the fight a bit more, and like things aren't going your way, you become a little bit frustrated with it. I mean, I do, but obviously I'm getting a lot older. My reactions aren't as good as they used to be. It was fun enough, especially with the wounding, and as well like the mini kind of games that you play with the challenges. Those were kind of nice, and the token build up and stuff like that. I thought those are really cool concepts within the fight. It's just the case I feel that I would be fine if the inverted controls were removed and the unblockable. Apart from that, it was a fun fight. It's just the paths that lead up to it that are a problem. Two of the paths seem fine. The other paths seem like they're just like complete troll to the community when it comes to the addition of them. But that's the same thing with a lot of Act 6.4 and Act 6 in general. So yeah, definitely good to give you feedback on this matter if you have indeed done the Grandmaster fight. In other news, and could Fantomex make an appearance in the game at a later date? Well, there's these fantastic little kind of like designs that are always put up on Twitter. Kabam John's got involved with them in the past. Kabam Mike, Gabe, Frizera, you know, everybody has been getting involved with this. Other MCC Gabe, Jim Cassidy, and Aiden, there we go, nearly missed out the name then, it was up there, have all kind of like come together, and loads of other people as well have been doing this. But it's kind of cool to kind of see these potential design works of abilities, and it shows the passion of the players of the game But Gabe said something in particular that did make me go, ooh, this is interesting. The Gabe was actually designed concept art, saying here, I actually drew a concept for MCOC Fantomex a few years back, but it never happened, which is too bad, since he's one of my favourite new X-Men characters. With Kabam Mike even saying, I hope we get him someday, but he's replaced by Iceman, so don't be too sad. That's really amazing to find out that level of information. Like, there has been design for Fantomex in the past. We obviously have that question mark, which could be Fantomex and the X-Force that's in the puzzle currently. And as well, the idea that Fantomex got bumped so Iceman can come into the game. See, that's information, and that's kind of like, that's MCOC history that we just don't know. But yeah, I'd love to see Fantomex in the game. I'm probably saying it wrong, but yeah, Fantomex. I can imagine I'm saying sort of right. In any case, yeah, that's really cool to learn that information. It's always great to see these little kind of like ability makeups that players are doing. And it's great when Kabam interact with these kind of things as well, because it's like something that hasn't happened for a while, and it's nice to kind of have this kind of like more active, you know, Kabam in the Twitter sphere, chatting with players on the matters of Marvel Contest of Champions. Next up, and the general roadmap, the future of the game roadmap, the long roadmap, the where we're going, we don't need road maps, and the general feedback response. Whatever you want to call it, this is something that was meant to drop in early June. We are now in early June, like the 10th of June. Now we're kind of like, what we got like, if it's Friday that Kabam dropped this, then it falls in line with what they did with Cavalier difficulty announcement last Friday. I just remember, don't get lost in the woods, because that means you're not back in time to cover the video and stream at the same time. So I'm gonna try not to do that. Either way, obviously a lot of players are really excited. I say excited, they're nervous, they're anxious, and everything above when it comes to what is the future of this game. From a quality of life perspective, from understanding and having the developer listen to problems, frustrations, inadequacies, right the way through to everything in game, from Alliance Quest, Alliance Wars, going right the way through to just the general grind on a daily basis. This is stuff that needs extensive covering, and as well, Kabam need to obviously identify and act on some of these things. So yeah, if it hasn't dropped, I don't think by Friday, as Spidey Funko says, it's probably best to start asking questions, because like, it's just gone on and on and on, and everybody's asking. Everybody wants a piece of that roadmap, so we need to get it soon. And now on to our next story. And did you know that we'll be getting a tech champion sooner than we think? So the other day, DT Melodic Metal, it's Bill and Ted reference, you know, when they did a thing. Third film, the trailer's out now. Go and check it out. It's going to be kooky. In any case, the thoughts on getting a tech champion sooner than we think. This could be a case that next month we might see some kind of significant tech champion, and the thoughts of what this could be. Put in the comment section, what do you think is going to be dropping? If it could be next month, the month of July, what kind of tech champion will we see? Will we see Wizard, which I know a lot of people have been saying about in the past, as well as a whole host of different things. Something in a mech suit. Who knows? Put it in the comment section down below. And now on to our final story, which is arena predictions. As you know, Tigra is going into the contest, and the fact is, I feel this one as a 5-star is going to go relatively high, but not super high. There's going to be significant hype around this champion for some functionality and utility, and as well the abilities, you know, they're kind of cool, but I would probably say that this one would at least go about 65 mil. Now I think that's fair. However though, do expect it to go between 60 and 65, I think, just with the popularity of this champion not being as high as recent champions that have been put in under the featured tag. Now the 4-star version, I'm going with a nice, cool, crisp 12 mil flat, which I think could be a case that you might want to push that to about 12.5, but I have this feeling that it might be a case like it'll drop lower, just a little bit lower than 12 mil. And the 3-star is obviously 1.5 mil for that, and obviously all predictions are down below at the moment. Finally, with Massacre hitting up, I reckon about a 1.7 mil if you want to grab that particular basic. It's not super high, but it's enough. If you feel worried, shoot in about a 1.8 mil for that. And that has been your Marvel Contest of Champions news for Wednesday. If you did enjoy the news, please hit the like button. Check out some recent content up here, and as well check out some other links to other stuff over there. Thanks very much for supporting the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.